my goodness, I have missed this podcast. I really have. I've skipped it for a few weeks now. There's been a lot going on in my life, start of new projects, new offerings for the world, and I really love that, and it's great, but it means that I have to reprioritize other things that already were happening in my life, and the podcast is one of those things that I just needed to reprioritize to be sure that I had enough energy, that I brought my light to it, that I have a clear intention for doing it again, and that I'm clear-headed. So one of the things I started was a twice-a-week session on Zoom for people who want to learn to use their voices in a more liberated capacity through embodiment techniques. This is one of my favorite practices in my life. I came into it when I was at Rutgers University back in the day in the voice class for actors, and I just really love the work. It's full body, full awareness. It grows the attention to detail in yourself and thereby the attention to your energy and helps grow energy and presence in performance on stage. It's a wonderful class for performers of any type, but also for speakers of any type, teachers, coaches, podcasters. And yeah, the work is subtle, but reaches deeply into the workings of the inside body to help release some of the tensions that help shape our modes of expression. And so I love this work, and I love offering guidance for this work because I think it's so powerful, and it's been so powerful in my life. So that was one of the things I started. Additionally, I have been working toward the transition in the seasons, which looks different on a farm. A lot of cleanup, just different tasks that require different bodily muscles and energy levels. And so that's been happening, transitioning into fall. And lastly, can't share too much detail about it because it's still in the workings, but I have a dream of opening a business and starting a business, and so I've been working on that too. I did, however, open up plant consulting and curating consultation services, which it can look like so many things, right? I mean, I've gardened for a number of years. I spend a lot of time observing gardens and creating gardens wherever I go. And also, I am a skilled farm laborer. So I just have a lot of plant knowledge, background in herbalism. And I just want to bring that to life, like bring that to people. I know that people want some of that in their daily life, and I can do that for you. If you don't know, I do have a website. My website is marietati.com. If you go to the Gardens tab on the website, you will see some of the things that I can do for you or your loved ones. Okay, enough shameless plugs about why I had to put this podcast on a lower rung on the priority ladder over the last few weeks. Now let's get into episode 12 of the Beyond Grief podcast. Okay, what are we talking about here today? There have been a few things on my mind, of course, over the past few weeks. So much change. I dreamt about butterflies last night, and I think I've been thinking a lot about butterflies and the life cycle of a butterfly, and I've also been finding chrysalises on the farm, and some of them are unopened, and I just have so much respect for the process of the life of a butterfly. They come out being such a beautiful, delicate and beautiful thing that just enchants everybody. I don't know anybody who's not enchanted in butterflies. If they're not, like, something is seriously psychologically wrong with them. But the path to get to butterfly status is grueling. You know, like, they build this chrysalis around themselves. First of all, they have to be born on the right piece of leaf or the right stem that doesn't get disturbed during their egg cycle, and that provides enough nourishment for them once they hatch to eat their way into becoming a bigger and bigger caterpillar. And then they spin this cocoon around themselves, and the cocoon hardens, but the inside of it, like themselves, they become goo. So they become like nothing with a structure. And I return to this fact a lot as a metaphor for life and going through transition, because transitions can be so... Oh, wow. The wind is very strong out. Okay. Because transitions can feel so hard sometimes. They feel dark. They feel like, uneasy. I know for me, a lot of times I feel like I can't see my feet. I'm not sure the next step to take. And I've realized in my meditations for the past few weeks that my signs, my astrological signs are cardinal, and I'm a firstborn daughter. So I be ready to take a direction and move, even if nobody else is going that way. I'm ready to forge the path. And I think that's a wonderful trait to have, but sometimes I have to remind myself to wait, actually, because there may be more information where I am that would help me on the path that I choose. And that's been one of my biggest lessons in life, and even one that I think I came into the world with because I was a little bit early coming out of the womb. And when I think back to that time, I think, I probably was really excited. When I think back to that time, I can remember being in an embryonic state and being really excited to come into the world. But I mean, I know myself, and probably it was that. I probably was really excited to come into the world. I thought I had everything I needed. I was just like, all right, we're ready to go. Let's go. I don't need anything else. But maybe my feet needed to do a little extra growing or something. I don't know. So I've had this tendency over my life to take the leap before I actually know my footing. And I've had a wonderful, surprising life. So there's, I'm not saying that I've made a mistake in that, but I have learned that sometimes it's better to wait a little while, because more ease might actually be around the corner in the transition, in whatever the next step is going to be. It may be more easeful for myself to actually just sit tight. You know what you want to do. That's okay. Keep visioning with it. Keep clearing your head for it. But maybe I don't have to leap into the unknown all the time. Maybe there are some times where I can allow my spirit team and the environment around me and just the changing of all things to align better, so that I don't have such a heavy lift on the other side. It might be nice to just I see the rock appear in the dark pond ahead. I can literally just touch it with my foot and then take a step, versus falling into the pond, thrashing, coming up against a crocodile, winning over it, getting to some kind of bank, being tired and wet and cold, still surviving, being strong, but did I need to do that? Because a rock was coming. I just had to wait. You know what I mean? So that's the energy that I'm in now. And I definitely see that as a testament to the wisdom that I've learned as I've matured over the years. Of course, wisdom learned by experience, by thrashing in that pond enough. And yeah, now I'm good. I think I'm in a good place to wait for a little bit while the next rock appears that I can just take a nice, beautiful, easy, delicate step onto. A relaxed life, a relaxed body, a relaxed nervous system is something that I value. I have valued strength before. I have proven my strength to myself many times before. Now I actually want to prove my softness. Ooh, she's becoming a lady. Yes, I'm becoming a lady. It's true. It's true. And even in that, my body has been changing over the last couple of years. And I mean, I like it, don't get me wrong. I have a more curvy stature than I did before. And I always imagined and look forward to having curves because I am very attracted to curves. Yeah, very attracted ever since I was a kid. So now I have a body of my desire and my dream. And, it's come along with the arduous healing work that I've done to heal my relationship with my father, my biological father, which was estranged, abandoned. I don't like to use certain buzzwords that everybody is using just to get a response, but there is a word that describes how I experienced my father, and it is narcissistic. Yes, it is. And what I mean by that is that my needs or wants or experience of the relationship didn't matter to him. And I don't think there was a way to communicate that to him that he would recognize and want to change. He also was definitely on somebody's spectrum, some spectrum. He had difficult social relationships in general. He was obsessed with one thing, which was the piano, which he was very good at and made a lifetime career of it. But yeah, my bio father, I definitely always wanted more from him that I could not get. It just was not possible. The type of loving attention that I desire from parents and people and friends around me, the type of consideration, thoughtful care, that just wasn't there. And it was hard for me to reconcile my sexuality with men or with the masculine side of life because my biological father was the first person to cross a boundary for me as a very young person in my sexual organ region. And that memory lived and has lived in my body for my whole life. And it has sort of dictated, a lot of the things that I do, not only with my sexuality, but just how I perceive people. And I'd say I've been on this journey of healing my relationship with masculine sexuality for about 12, 13 years. Now, 12, 13 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that I would be where I am now. I had no love for men. I'm really sorry if there are any men out there listening. I had no love for men. I had no trust. I thought that they all, in some way, shape, or form, did not honor boundaries and would cross them when it suited them at any time. So in that way, I kind of grew up. When I became an active sexual being, at first it was with boys, but I realized that something I knew about myself was that I kind of had this feeling like I wanted to hurt men. Again, I'm so sorry, but I did. I wanted to hurt men, but it was that revenge feeling. And I had no idea why I had that. Because I didn't remember what happened with my dad until I was 21, after my mom died. But it made a lot of sense as to when I had the memory of what happened with my bio father. It made a lot of sense as to how I treated men in my early teenage years, and then just kind of gave up on them by the time I was 15. And I was like, well, good thing I like women, because women are fun and they're emotionally intelligent and I can connect the way that I want to connect with. I don't need men. Ooh, right? And so I lived with that, with the not need for men for 15 years, from 15 to 30. And then 30 hit and my body was changing. My grandmother had just passed away. That was a lot for me, my grandmother's passing. I hit the first time that I ever wanted to birth a child through my body. I had that experience after my grandmother passed. I was like, oh, okay. And I think interestingly, what happened then was like, I started being attracted to more men. And I guess it's not that I wasn't attracted like physically to men before. I definitely did not allow myself to go there. I actually faced a lot of suppression sexually from both sides, from like operating as a straight girl. I didn't know. If I was a teenager, I didn't know that there was another option. So operating as a straight girl and being actively like sexual, very curious about sexuality, and then learning, of course, by thrashing in the pond, that, socially, sexuality is not looked at the same between boys and girls. And so, I was the one that was labeled a hoe at 14 because I was interested in exploring multiple people. And that time was really complex in my life because on the one hand, I do believe that sexual exploration is like amazing. It's a necessary part of human existence. I wish that we had better practices around it where it wasn't like so weird, so puritanical, so demonized, especially for women and young women. But on the other hand, I didn't have anyone teaching me in my home, like a nice father would do, that my body is extremely valuable and that I should be concerned about who I share it with, because the energy exchange there is something that basically I don't get back, and can live with me. Those exchanges of energy can live with me into the rest of my life, really. And that sex is important. It's not just fun. It's extremely important. So, I kind of do wish that I had the value system around my body set up around myself then, but, it took me some years to learn. It's fine. So that's my sexual experience as a teenager. And then I started being with women only, and I did that again for 15 years. It didn't save me from sexual judgment, but it did save me from like the really intense energetic exchange I think that happens between male sexual organs and female sexual organs when they have intercourse. And the energy exchange there, just all of it. Like now I understand it's a lot. It's a lot to exchange with someone. There's a lot of energy that goes into it. I'm a water sign. I could feel a lot. I could pick up on people's stuff. Energetically, people come with people, whether they're embodied or not. People come with other people, and all that gets exchanged. The energies around a person, all that is a part of that. And not just when having sex, also with the friends that you surround yourself with, like if you surround yourself with people who have negative energies around them or energies around them that pull at them or pull them down or pull them apart, like you're going to feel that. And I think there's a susceptibility that happens as well where, I would become more susceptible to that if I surrounded myself with people like that. So, that is to say it's not only relegated to sex, but sex definitely heightens the experience. So in many ways, I am glad to have been protected from some of the exchanges that I would have had in my early adulthood while I was learning myself, while I was learning how to state my boundaries, while I was learning how to heal myself from the memory of my father inappropriately touching me as a toddler. And I think if I would have thrown sex with men into that mix, yeah, I definitely could have self-destructed for sure. So I do feel protected by my journey with women. But again, I was not protected from sexual judgment, because then if I had any inkling of attraction to men, a lot of the women I was with or around had judgment about that. Ew, you want to be with a man, blah, blah, blah. And none of that has ever been right for me. It just hasn't. None of that has ever been cool or right for me, but I bore it because I was used to bearing a level of abuse, to be honest. In the household where I grew up, I bore some verbal, emotional abuse, and I strengthened my independence and my self-resolution on that sword. And so when it showed up in my relationships, I was like, oh, I know this. Like, I'll be fine. Now, now I'm 37. Now there's no way I would deal with that. No way. I don't deal with negative friends. I don't deal with negative comments or things about what I decide to do in my life or my sexuality. I trust myself so much. I've learned so much about myself. And I've aligned my heart's desires with my physical desires. So I trust my desires. They are intuitive. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can literally F off. Like, I don't need it. And I wouldn't stick around because I don't need that type of energy around me. So the self-love has really grown me up in this way that I feel like has matured me into a more womanly creature. And that's why I am willing to wait for the softer route. And I'm willing to explore new places in myself as they heal and become safe to explore. So I have experiences, I learn from experiences, I get better every time. And this is the path that I've been on of healing. It's healing in every single way. Every way that I come in contact with, I open myself to healing. And sometimes that healing gets grueling, gets dark, gets hard, gets gooey. It turns me all the way inside out. It makes it so that the life around me looks completely different. I can't tell you how many times now I've had my world pulled from under my feet. Just a complete transformation in my life and my environments, including the people around me. And it's hard every time, but it also gets easier to recognize every time. And then I get excited. I get excited that I'm moving into another phase of my life, another more truer, freer, more expressive version of myself. I never want to hold myself back. I don't care if the people around me want to hold me back because they want a certain version of me. I would rather leave. I would rather be on my timing as I'm becoming a chrysalis and a butterfly. I don't need the institutions, the situations, the environments, the people who were around me before to come with me into the next iteration of my life. And that has been a big freedom point for me. Big freedom point. And it doesn't mean I don't love people. I do. It doesn't even mean that I don't have loyalty. I do. But, honey, learning to have loyalty to myself and my process and putting it on the rung of the ladder above everyone else, it hits different. It hits different. It feels different. It shows up different in my body. It sounds different in my voice. It attracts different caliber of people, different types of people, and different types of experiences. So I really love the journey, and I'm really glad that I'm finally at a place in it now where I can comfortably sit and wait for the next step to appear so that I can softly and surely take that step without throwing my entire body out of alignment. Yes, this is the path. This is the path. Well, I think that's good enough for this episode. Just a quick little, very deep sharing for you to say that I relate and I understand, and I even have incredible compassion for those of you going through major transitions in yourself and in your life. It's not easy, but it's so worth it to learn how to hear your deeper voice, that inner voice that knows, and to learn how to trust it and be patient with it and wait for it to tell you to move. If this place is okay, if this place is nourishing enough for you to shed your old self and become goo in the process, then I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, because the other side of this process is one of the most beautiful things in the world. And nothing can replace that. No pill can give you that. No group practice, no guru, no school, no job can give you that sense of inner knowing and peace with your own process, that you can do the hard thing, the hard, gooey, dark breakdown thing of transforming yourself from within and becoming the most beautiful, elevated version of yourself. I'm proud of you, as I'm proud of myself. We're in this together. I'll see you out in the flower fields, baby. Let's connect as we collect some nectar together, okay? I love you. Can't wait to see your wings. I'm stretching mine right now, pushing against the chrysalis. I've been strengthening all year. And yeah, we're ready to open up. We're about ready to fly, baby. I love you, beloved. Take care. Peace.